Hello, my fellow readers. So it is time once again for my quarterly review. I'm actually way behind on my quarterly review. It's like a month behind. It's okay. I filmed it and then I just did not have time to do this part and post it. I just haven't been feeling well, so that is all for that. It's been a good quarter. I read a lot, but not as much as other times, which again is good. I've been trying to cut back and just do what I want to do. So it's been good. I will just pass it over to me on the computer to go over more specific stats. And that is it. Get over there. So here we are with a closer look at my 2025 reading log. And we started this little quarter of the year right here, July 1st, with The World of Critical Role. This was for my reading challenge, and so I read it. But we started here at 241 for the number of the book, and we ended after reading many books way down here at 370, so about 129 books for this quarter. 28 or 9. Yeah, I didn't count because technically this is October 1st. Whatever. It's fine. Around there. So yeah, I'm probably not going to get too deep in here because like always, I tend to go over to Goodreads, and so I usually get inspired to talk about the books when I see their covers. We'll take a quick peek at one. I want to point out the stats here because I realized that this was not charting correctly, so I had to go in and make a correction. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't reading the right lines. So yeah, it was a bad thing. Wasn't getting them. Now it has. So now we can really see the breakdown per month of what I've read. The biggest month so far this year was January. And I think that is because I read all of the Beatrix Potter books. And so there's like 23, I think, of those books. And that's why there's a higher level. The next highest was here in July. And September was also pretty big, so that would be the next. So these two were good months. And I don't think there's anything else here that I would point out. I think I had to fix my star distribution too, but that's all set now. And yeah, I just went through one day and corrected all of the little charts that were not reading well, the little stats that weren't reading correctly. And then we have my actual charts here. So again, I haven't DNF'd any book this year. I've read mostly fiction, only a little bit of nonfiction. Listened to a lot of audio. Let me move that over. Listened to a lot of audio. And then print, surprisingly, is next. But I think that's mostly from the manga. And then digital, which is usually ARCs. And then I throw in a couple of books that I had to get through digital. Genres, mostly fantasy, and then some romance, and some general fiction, and a good chunk mystery and horror as well. Again, this one I don't so much like because of the book source, but it doesn't really make sense because, as I always say, library for a lot of this is also Libby and usually Hoopla too, but I don't know if I have Hoopla, like if there was enough percentage to be up here. And review copy is pretty accurate. I don't know. Anyway, I don't love this one. I feel like that chart's not great. You can see that this year I've stayed mostly on an even keel for books, which I like. I have cut back from last year, so I'm feeling good about that, actually. Nation of origin. Let's slide over and we'll go up this way now. Books in translation versus not translated. Books translated is this one versus not translated. Star ratings. Audiobook by length. Audiobook source. Yeah, and this one you can see Hoopla, so it was only 0.4%. I don't tend to use my Hoopla up too much, but every once in a while it has a book that I need to get. The pub date So it's mostly books published this year. Oh, I think this one is my one upcoming book. And then there's the backlist. Page count. Form. Again, mostly prose. Not a couple, but a chunk of comics. Essay collection. Picture books. Novella. And then mostly adult, a couple of YA. These are usually the fairy loot unless there is a release of a YA book that I'm really interested in. And then children, usually a middle grade book, but since I did some picture books for reading challenges, some of those will be in there. And there you have it. I think that's it. I'll peek in on with my challenges. I have just one book to read for the Read Harder challenge. This is the one by Book Riot, and that is a book based solely on its setting. And I just need to pick a book based on its setting, and I just haven't yet. I have finished my Read More reading challenge. Yay. And then, let's see. Let's head over to Goodreads, and we'll take a look at the covers. So again, we're starting right here. I'll mention briefly, The Favorites is a retelling of Wuthering Heights with ice skaters. It's like paired skating. And I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. The God and the Grayson, I think I mentioned this. I think I've already talked about it, so we're going to go on. If I see any that I really want to bring up, I'll tell you. Finally got to read the Emily Henry one. It's not my favorite of them, just to be honest, but I thought it was okay. Heavenly Bodies, I really enjoyed. When the Moon Hatched, I also really enjoyed. Would recommend both of those. If you're a romantasy fan, I would recommend them. This is another one I would recommend. It's more like cozy fantasy. Cozy romantic fantasy. But The Lord of Stariel, it's a whole series. I've only read this first one so far, but I really liked it, and I can't wait to move on with the series. That was super good. Finally read The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter, the light novel version, volume 1, and I will be getting the rest of that series eventually. I do want to talk about this Amigurumi book, because I really like it, but we'll see if I get a chance to. Continuing on with Villains Are Destined to Die. I was a little bit disappointed with Drop of Corruption. This is the sequel to The Tainted Cup, which I really, really like The Tainted Cup. But this one, I was just slightly, I wasn't as into it. I didn't think the story was as good. I've already talked about Accomplishments of the Duke's Daughter. I finished that series. Warrior Princess Assassin. My only complaint with this one is that I thought it was over too quickly, and there's not as much real movement in the book, but I love the characters. I can't wait to see what happens with this story and how they go. There's obviously a mission that they're going to have to get done, but I feel like the first one laid so much groundwork and did more of the character development. So I don't know if that means book 2 will be a lot more action based, but I did enjoy it a lot. Curious Kind of Magic is a YA cozy fantasy. I would highly recommend this one. This really has been one of my favorite books of the year. I just thought it was delightful. There's a lot of overcoming grief and self-doubt, and it's a coming of age story, and it's just really cute. I really enjoyed it. And it's also being able to let someone in, acknowledging a weakness or where you need help. And it was just really good. I think I liked this one too, but now I can't remember if this is the one I'm thinking of, A Strange and Stubborn Endurance, which has more romance. What's next? I enjoyed both A Forgery of Fate and The Floating World. I wasn't expecting to enjoy The Floating World as much as I did. I don't know why. I feel like I've read a lot that have had like the same stories over and over again. So I was worried this was going to be much the same. But no, I very much enjoyed both of these stories. I thought they were really good. Swept Away, I just want to make this comment. Swept Away, I felt like I was trapped on the boat with them, and it stressed me out so much. I didn't love the Nightblood Prince. It's not at all like, it's not bad. It's not a bad book. I just felt like I've read similar things before, with just the slight addition of more like vampiric characters. But I think I do have my beautiful Fairy Loot edition of this book up for sale on Pango Books. So if you're willing to give it a try, if there's, if vampires and kind of a Mulan retelling sounds right up your alley, feel free to go pick it up from me. I'll ship it right out to you. Let's see. Strange Houses, weird little horror book. I originally was going to review Delicious in Dungeon, the full series, but then there was a huge time frame between when I could read the first part of the series and when I ended the series that I don't think I can compile it into like one big review. But I liked the series. There were slow volumes for me, but I think overall the story was good. And kind of made you... I will say, I don't know. For me, there's never been a book or a series that has made me more uncomfortable about food. Sometimes it was too descriptive of what they were chopping up and eating, but it's a good series overall. I like the character relationships. I rooted for the main team. I thought it was good. I've already talked about this, so we're going to move on. I also really loved Kill the Beast. This is, I think, coming out soon. If it's not released yet, it might be out like next week. I don't remember. But I did the arc of the audio, I think, and I loved it. It is kind of a humorous, kind of cozy, but also kind of dark book. And I don't know, it's just really, really good. The characters are funny. The main male character is kind of a dandy. He likes his fancy clothes and his, bright tights and colorful coats and everything. And he hires a warrior who is determined to try to kill this beast that years ago attacked and killed her brother. So for her, she's trying to get revenge on the beast. And this guy who, like I said, he's a little bit of a dandy, he agrees to hire her because he wants to kill the beast. And he said the beast is also like done, like I think he killed his brother as well, and he wants to just get rid of it, and he's found the magical object that could potentially kill the beast, and so he hires her to go and do it. Of course, along the way they get closer, and then secrets are revealed, and they have to make a decision about what happens next, and it's very good, and that's all I'm going to say. I would definitely recommend this. I was hoping that this was going to be one of the Fairy Loot books. I don't think it looks like it's going to be now, which I'm a little disappointed in, because this would have been a beautiful addition from Fairy Loot, but I will probably be buying this book because I really, really liked it. I've already talked about Accomplishments of the Duke's Daughter. Twice I've already talked about it. Good Spirits by B.K. Borison, which I don't remember if this is out now. It might be. I'd also recommend this one. This was another arc that I read. It's a romance novel where the ghost of Christmas past comes to help the main female character to move on with her life to like heal things or whatever. But the problem is like she doesn't seem like the kind of person that has any issues. Like she hasn't done anything wrong. And so he doesn't really understand why he's there to help her. She doesn't seem to need help. She's a good person. And it turns out the two kind of like have to heal each other and their problems. Okay, anything else I want to point out? Finally got to Everything is Tuberculosis. it's a little bit sad on different levels right now, especially since funding that could help to save a lot of people has been cut, and I think there's going to be a lot of death and sadness, but let's hope for the best. The Princess Knight. Here's another fantasy arc that I did. This one, again, I think is releasing soon, if not already out. And in this one, we have a princess who thinks her life is all laid out for her. She is set to get engaged to one of her friends since childhood. It's the prince of a neighboring kingdom. And the day she thinks she's getting engaged, he essentially tells her, like, they're not getting engaged. He's heading off to an academy. And she follows him there just to prove that she doesn't need him anyway, that she's brave and powerful. She's also kind of hoping that he sees her as powerful and then changes his mind about getting engaged to her. Instead, announces that he's engaged to somebody else. In the meanwhile, there's another character here that is friends with the prince and kind of comforts and encourages the princess. And so obviously there's a little bit of love there. And then you have to just see what happens, because of course he is not nobility. And also there's different plots happening that are bad for the countries in general. So I don't know. I liked that. I thought it was really good. What Fury Brings by Trisha Levenseller. This is out now. I did complete the arc of it, but it's out. This one, I don't want to talk too much about it. It is kind of throwing a reverse look at the way that normal fantasy romances are done, in the fact that, and fantasy in general, that the women in this case, or just in this part of the land, like their territory, their kingdom, were given all like the strength and power. Men do not have that power because the goddess who watches over their country blessed them with this gift as a way to not have them be mistreated by men. However, our main female character, she was not born with the gift. So she's had to work extra hard to try to prove herself. A lot of people don't know this. So like she's worked extra hard in order for people to not realize that she does not have the gift. And so at the start of this, her cousin, who is kind of her main competitor for vying for the role of the kingdom, like who will take over next, and her were kind of teasing, well, not really teasing, I mean, she's kind of saying what she would need to do in order to prove herself. And so she sets out to kidnap the son of the neighboring kingdom that they're kind of at odds with. Not kind of, they are. She thinks that it's the second son, who is supposed to be more sensitive and into poetry and not really a fighter. Instead, she ends up kidnapping the successor to the throne, so it's the crown prince. And she does not realize this for a long time. So it's kind of the chaos that ensues from all of that happening. And it's pretty good. I still liked it. I thought it was a pretty good love story. Trisha Levenseller is a pretty solid writer, so yeah, it was good. Did not enjoy this book. I don't think that Caitlin Starling's books are for me, because I also didn't like I can't remember the name of it now. Jane something. Anyway, I didn't like that one. Did love this one. This Violet Thistlewhite is not a villain anymore. Again, I read the arc for this. This one is a cozy romance, and it does have fantasy as well. But it's essentially where the big bad, Dark Lord, is defeated at the start of the book by the heroes. And Violet Thistlewhite was the Thorn Witch under him, so she would go and attack kingdoms for the Dark Lord and everything. But she's given a second chance at the start of the book. Now, we don't really understand why until later, but she is given a second chance. The hero says, go and do no more harm. And so she ends up fleeing into this village where she rents a place and gets part of the greenhouse from a brother and sister. The sister mainly does the agreement. The brother is kind of upset at that because he's been using the greenhouse for his apothecary. The brother and sister, their parents have died, I think recently, And so they're trying to keep the business running and stay afloat. And so they're hoping that the sister was hoping that the rent paid for by Violet would help them to stay afloat and pay off the debts. But there's a sweet romance in here. It's really good. I liked this one a lot. If you like cozy romances along the line of like the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, yeah, I think this would be a good choice. Okay, and honestly, we are at October with the Ruthless Ladies Guide. Oh boy. We are at October with the Ruthless Ladies Guide to Wizardry, and so that is where I will end it. I don't really have much to say about anything else, but I'm looking forward to just finishing off the year, enjoying the books that I'm reading, so that I get really a fullness of reading. I will just quickly bring you to the top. Don't pay attention to what I've read. I just wanted to point out like the way that the challenge looks now from Goodreads, in case you haven't paid attention to it. So I have surpassed my goal for the year, because I only up my goal by like 5 books a year. But now, which kind of ties into the Kindle challenges, they do these little like monthly challenges. And so if I scroll along, I've completed all of those months. I will of course get these. And then I think Grand Slam and stuff, I think this is when you like finish the challenge. I am not going to achieve this one. Stepped Up is like where you've read more books than the previous year. This is not going to happen because I didn't want to read as many books as last year. I felt like I had read too many. I didn't think it was as enjoyable. And so I'm actually stepping back a bit this year. I think with that being said, I'm still going to get to probably over 450 books or right around there. So it's not like we're suffering, but I think that'll be plenty. I did not want to get, 700 or more books this year. I think, 400 and something is fabulous. But that is the way that the challenge looks now. I just wanted to share that and say, like, I don't really have much left to do for this year. So I'm going to just kind of try to take it easy for the rest of the year. And I don't know, look forward to whatever 2026 leads. So now back to Live Me to close this out. So there you have it. It was like 120 some odd books read this quarter, and running the gambit between, all sorts of things. Crime, graphic novels. Just a really good time. A couple of standouts in general. I got through it. I don't know, this year's been flying by, so it still feels surreal to me to be filming this and also to be going into the final quarter of the year. Not really sure that I'm ready for like all of the holidays and all the things going on. There are some big releases coming up in this final quarter that I'm looking forward to. Some big like November time releases, and I'm gonna have fun reading those. And I will fill you in when I feel like it. That is it for this video. Until next time, bye.